Hello, Sarah of SEK Handmade here. You guys, technology. I'm doing this totally different than I normally would because my technology is not working. But the upside is I have a class tonight that I need to use this technology on, and it's better to know now that it's not working than later. So I am live here today to talk to you about something I have never done before, and that is that I purchased an Advent kit. Um, I I want to tell you why I purchased an Advent kit and why I have never purchased one in the past. So, first, I want to acknowledge that Advent kits can be quite pricey, and that I get that this is not something that everyone has the ability to purchase. But as someone who was a hesitant consumer previously, I thought it would be fun to kind of do this together so that maybe you could preview what an Advent kit looks like, maybe go through some of the emotions of it with me and see if it's something that in the future you might find interesting to do. So I want to start off by saying, why have I never purchased an Advent kit in the past? The long and short of it is that I am a controlling person. I have some really specific preferences. I even to the point that I really like to go to the yarn store and purchase my yarn because I like to pick up the skeins and look at them and say, this one has more blue in it. This one has more pink in it. These two go more closely together. So part of it is that I know that about myself. I know that I'm picky. I know that I really like to carefully choose my yarn. But the other part of that is that I've had a negative experience with such things. So a while back, I had this yarn dyer that I followed that I really loved her work. Almost every skein she made was beautiful, and she was doing this monthly club. So what she would do is she would share an inspiration picture, and lots of dyers do this. She's not the only person. So I'm sure you've seen this before. They take a picture, they share the picture, they say, this is going to be March's yarn club box. And then they take orders for March's yarn club box, and you purchase a March club box, not knowing what the actual yarn is going to look like. And then you get the yarn, they reveal the yarn. And for the most part, the way that works is only the people who pre-ordered the yarn get the yarn. And that's the way this dyer did it. She took pre-orders. She only dyed exactly what she needed, which for her business is absolutely smart. So I'm not knocking that. So I watched for several months where she would show the inspiration picture. She would show the finished yarn once it had been sent out to all of the people. And every month I was like, that's so pretty. And now I can't have it. So after a few months of doing that, I decided to just go for it. She showed the next month's inspiration picture. And I was like, it's beautiful. Those are my colors. There's lots of blues. Blues are my thing. And so I said, I'm going to go for it. I purchased the 2 skein box because I'm like, if you're going to go, you might as well have enough to really do something with. Purchased the 2 skein box. I got the box. I opened it up and I was like, I didn't hate it, but I felt very lukewarm about it. Whereas past skeins, I'd been like, oh, it's so beautiful. This one, I was like, had I seen this ahead of time, I probably wouldn't have purchased. Which is nothing to say negative things about the dyer. It's just my personal preference. Now, let me tell you why I think that happens. And I see this a lot of times where dyers will put out an inspiration picture, and I will look at the inspiration picture and envision in my brain what I kind of think it might look like. And then they show the reveal and it's not the same. And here's what I think happens. which I should say I have no sciencey degrees and do not know if any of this is actually true. But here's my theory. When you look at a picture, when anybody looks at a picture, you are drawn to your preferences, right? Let's say it's a picture of a sunset, right? And it's got all of those layers of color as the sun goes down, and it's maybe got like something in the foreground that's backlit, so it's really dark. And my personal preference is towards really saturated and really bold colors. I definitely lean towards dark and moody versus light and pastel. And so I may look at that sunset picture and my brain will pull out the colors that I really like. So my brain will look at that and say, deep navy, a beautiful burgundy, a really bold purple, maybe. And those colors are all in that inspiration picture. But the dyer might look at the exact same picture and pull out a gorgeous orange or a pink or a pastel yellow. And those may be the colors that they use in their skeins that they dye. Whether they choose those colors of their own brain pulling out personal preference or business decisions about dyeing up a color that is different from the last one that they dyed or whatever. And so we can both look at the same picture and end up pulling out different colors, which means that I look at an inspiration picture and think one skein of yarn, which I don't dye yarn, so I'm not making it. But I envision things, right? And a dyer may look at the exact same inspiration picture and come up with something totally different. My strong personal preferences and color palette, and the fact that I think just human nature, we see what we want to see, right? Has made me very hesitant. And my past experience of purchasing a mystery box and being disappointed has made me very hesitant to try an advent kit. So here's why I did it this year. It was a combination of several things. First, I have a local yarn shop that I love and frequent and work at as their crochet teacher. And so when the owner said, I'm going to have several advent kits from Knitted Wit, I was like, ooh, because I love Knitted Wit. If you look at the cover picture of this video, it's a picture with the advent packages and yarn. All the yarn around that is Knitted Wit yarn. None of it is from the advent kit because I have not started opening any of it. So I very clearly have a strong preference for her yarn. So when I heard that it was Knitted Wit and when I heard that it was available at my local yarn shop, I was very intrigued. I had been eyeing an advent kit from a dyer who, again, every skein she makes, like her and my vibe are very similar. Every skein she makes, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. I don't think she's ever dyed a pastel. It's all bold and bright and saturated. And I pulled her advent listing up in my browser and I went back and forth for weeks. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get it. For so long, I went back and forth that eventually it was closed and I couldn't get it. So most dyers, what they'll do is they will open up a listing, like a future listing, a pre-order. That's what that's called. They'll open up a pre-order for for their advent kit or calendar or whatever they call it. and they'll leave it open for a certain amount of time. And then they know how many kits they have to make. There is a lot of money and time and energy that goes into creating these kits. So it makes perfect sense to me that this is how they do it. So they open up the listing for a pre-order. They take either a limited number of pre-orders or they take pre-orders for a limited amount of time. And then they take time to prepare all of those pre-orders so that they can go out so that people can have them by December to do, the adventing thing. So I missed the window and I was very mildly disappointed. I was like, that's kind of a bummer. I really loved her inspiration pictures. Again, would she have pulled the same colors? I don't know. As like I was drawn to, I don't know. But I was like, you know what? It's okay. It'll be fine. So when my local yarn shop said that she had some advent kits, I was like, And then when it was a dyer that I really like, I was like, So what happened was I went and I taught a class. I was teaching a class and my class finished up and I went out into the shop and there were the kits. And I was like, oh, is that the Advent kit? And Sarah, the shop owner is also Sarah. Sarah was like, yes. And I was like, wait, is that the last one? And she was like, yes. And I was like, it must be mine. So it was both like kind of premeditated and a little bit of like a snap judgment FOMO kind of situation. And I purchased it. So I was really excited about it. And I almost came home and just opened everything up. This was like the beginning of November. Like it was not Advent time yet. But life was busy. I kept telling myself, oh, you can look at it. Like I literally just brought the package home and set it in my office and like it did not touch it. Life got busy with holiday preparations. We traveled over Thanksgiving and that took a lot of preparing for all the people. And so it just sat there and it sat there and it sat there. And then today I was like, oh, it's December 1st. I did that all around. I have Advent things planned for my kids, which I can't take too long talking here because I promised them they'd be all set up by the time they came home from school today, and they are not. But I just kind of like, it just kind of happened that I didn't even really have to make the choice of waiting because life kept me busy. So I didn't really have the opportunity to look at it. So I decided that it might be fun as someone who has never experienced an Advent kit before to take you along on the journey with me. So what I'm going to do is I have my kit. I'll show it to you here in just a second. I'm going to make little videos. I'm going to post them hopefully daily. I don't know if they'll just be like little shorts here on YouTube. I'll try. My goal is to share on all the places so that you can meet me wherever you're at and see them. I will warn you, I'm going to show you. So like if you also purchased the Knitted Wit Advent kit and you don't want to see, wait until you open yours before you come look at my stuff. And I'd love to hear if you have. It'd be fun to compare and chit chat about what we got. But my goal is everything will probably be pre-recorded because I don't want to be fumbling around with stuff. But I will minimal edit my true reactions to things. So that you can just come along with me and see what gets opened every day and what are the different pieces of this and what are my immediate reactions to things. I'm a little not nervous. Nervous isn't really the word, but I'm trying to temper my expectations because I don't want to be disappointed for my over blowing it in my head. So that's where I'm at. So I made a total mess of this, I have to say, because I did take it all out of its bag to take pictures, but I have not opened any of the containers. So I will tell you, so my advent kit came with this adorable little pamphlet, and on the back it's telling me, let me just double check. Gosh, I hope I didn't miss anybody. Oh, I did. So the collaborators on this are A Needle Runs Through It, Squire Country Crafts, the Craft Emporium, the Shauna Jean Club, the Shannon Squire Designs, and Knitted Wit. So those are all of, I assume, the collaborators on this. And then it's a cute little pamphlet. It's got a whole bunch of information about the kit and why it is the way it is, which is super fun. There's also a pattern that you can work with what's in here, which is super fun. I will warn you, if you have this kit, watch out. On page 5, I believe, I think there's a picture of all of the yarn that's in here, which when I spied that, I was like, oh, I'm kind of disappointed that I saw that. So if you have this and you don't want to see it, don't look at page 5. So I think there are a lot. Bonnie asked, is it all yarn or are there different things? And there are definitely different things. I don't know what different things. Like I said, I kind of like snap judgment bought this, so I did not see like the whole list of everything that's in there, but I can tell you, so it came in this cute little bag. Everything is wrapped in little paper bags, which I really like because then I can recycle all of those, which I love. So some of the things seem kind of obvious. This is day 1. I love how, I don't know if you can see, I'm kind of getting each bag has a number on it. There we go. A number with little hearts on it and a little sticker. That's so cute. I'm feeling strongly that this is a full skein of yarn, and this is day 1. I'm not going to open this right now. I'll do a separate little video for that. But then I've made a total mess of this. They were all in the right order, and I pulled them out to take my pictures, and they're all kind of a mess. This is day 13. Just feeling it. Feels like yarn to me. But then day 28, I have no idea. It's kind of flat up here. There's a little bump down there. I don't know. So I'm excited to go through this and give you my real honest opinion about what it was like to do an Advent kit. I've been wanting to design something with some minis for people to use their Advent kit with, because I feel like that's the second challenge, right? It's a lot of fun to purchase this and to open all the things. But then a lot of times you've got a lot of little mini skeins, and what do you make with it? So I don't know if we'll get to that this year, but I'd love to design something that's meant to go with an Advent kit so that like when you're done, then in January, you have a fun little pattern to work up, right? Wouldn't that be fun? So, all right. That's all I have to say about that. I would love to know in the comments if you have purchased an Advent kit before. If you have, what did you think of it? Do you purchase it every year? Are you like a one and done? That was good enough for me. If you purchased, did you immediately open all of them up? Or did you wait and open them day by day? Oh, I will say this, I was surprised when I laid everything out for my pictures. This kit lasts 31 days. So this will take me all the way through the month of December. So that's fun. And each Advent kit is different. So, but I would love to know if you've purchased, what your experience was, and if you opened them or if you waited and did it day by day. If you haven't purchased in the past, I'd love to know why not. Do you have similar things that are holding you back that held me back? Or is there something else that's holding you back? So I can't wait to go on this adventure with you and just see what all is in here. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to share more with you. Have a great day.